Storms right now across Nashville, where we are really keeping an eye on the potential for large hail across Nashville right now. So we're tracking these storms that you can see behind me, where we do have a tornado warning down to the south, but in Franklin, Tennessee, we are watching for a significant severe thunderstorm warning producing very large hailstones across the southern side of Nashville, Tennessee. So I think that you guys can hear me okay. Let me double check this just in case you guys cannot hear me, but I think that our audio is good. So we're going to continue our storm coverage here across Nashville, Tennessee, where you can see that we have a severe thunderstorm warning highlighted here in yellow just to the south of Nashville. So this is on the southern side of the city. If you go down 65, you get to Franklin. And what we're seeing here is a significant severe thunderstorm warning warned for baseball-size hail. So let's get to the warning itself, and let's get more information on this storm. This storm is actually very interesting. Not only is it warned for baseball-size hail, but that warning came from the National Weather Service office in Fort Worth, Texas. The National Weather Service office in Fort Worth has taken over this warning here, and that could be because Nashville National Weather Service had to shelter because of a tornado warning previously in this area. We'll have to see the exact reason why. The National Weather Service office in Nashville hasn't come out and said exactly the reason for this switch up, but I can give you information on this warning here. Baseball-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This is the type of warning that will make your phone go off. It'll trigger a WEA, a wireless emergency alert, making your phone go off because of the massive hail that is falling in this area. The National Weather Service deems baseball-sized hail a threat to not only property but also potential life. So that is why that phone goes off and it rings and it buzzes in your hand to alert you of this warning. That goes until 5 o'clock this evening, so we've got another 20 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning just to the south of Nashville, Tennessee. Now we do have a track for this storm. It's moving to the east at about 40 miles an hour. So let's zoom out and let's give you a track for those of you who are watching just outside of Nashville right now. And then after that, after we give the track, we'll talk about some of these other severe, these local storm reports. These little circles right here, those are local storm reports. It's a ground truth that someone has sent in, oftentimes an emergency manager, potentially a fire department or police officer has said, this is this hail that is falling in this area. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Again, this is moving to the east at about 50 miles an hour. So the next cities in the path of this storm, Nolensville, 442, got just a few minutes until this storm is in Nolensville. Laverne, I hope I'm saying that correctly, at 449. Murfreesboro, 456, excuse me. Water Hill at 5 o'clock. So these storms are, this storm itself, the supercell, is tracking to the east, and it's producing some large hail in here. It was producing a potential tornado about a few minutes ago. So if we back this radar all the way up here, you can see that tornado warning that we had just a few minutes ago. Oh, the warnings may not update, but yeah, there was a potential tornado just 20-30 minutes ago, but now it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. If we zoom down and get a look at our local storm reports now, what we are seeing on here is 2-inch size hail reports in the Leapers Fork area. So we have confirmation that we have some large hail in this area. Golf ball size hail off Natchez Trace and Bending Chestnut. That was right around 421, about 20 minutes ago. If we go up 840 here, we've got another report of golf ball size hail estimated from radar out in the Prim Springs area. And then keep tracking off to the west, seeing kind of the history of this storm here and the hail history it's had. I mean, for a long time, this storm has been producing some large hailstones. 2-inch size hailstone report in Wrigley or Bon Aqua. Another 2-inch size hailstone report out in Centerville. And last but not least, before we get a check of the radar again, we've seen another hail report, this one quarter-size hail. So we can kind of see the track of this storm and just how intense it has been over the last 40 minutes here. All right, taking a look at that severe thunderstorm warning in the southern side of Nashville right now. This is in the Brentwood, Franklin area. However, we have another warning coming into Nashville right now, farther up to the north. So let's get another look. Let's zoom out here and get a look at that warning right now. Check this out. So just to the west of Nashville, the city itself, not in the southern side of the city, but the city itself, if you look out to the west, we are going to see another round of storms moving in. And remember, the time right now is right around rush hour for a lot of people across the U.S., but especially some of those bigger cities. So right as people are getting out right now, they've got another severe thunderstorm warning moving in. So we've got quarter-size hail for this warning that's moving into Dixon right now. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts impacting about 33,000 people at the moment. But look farther back to the west, and we have this really intense risk here highlighted in this severe thunderstorm warning, and then you see those hatched lines through it. Why do we have those hatched lines? That means that this is a significant severe thunderstorm warning, and that is because of a high wind risk associated with this line of storms. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this line of severe storms here. So this is a all hazards risk. We not only have that hail risk on the southern side of Nashville, that tornado risk if you go farther down to the south into Columbia, and then a high wind risk farther out to the west in between Trenton and Jackson, but moving into Waverly. So this is absolutely an all hazards risk here. We have seen several reports of large hail just to the south of Nashville, and we were talking about that earlier. But one thing that I didn't mention as we jumped onto the live stream here is that we do have a chat open for you all. If you have any questions, you can put that on the chat. You can let us know what questions you have and where you're watching from right now. So let us know where you're watching from. We appreciate you jumping on here and getting your weather update in Nashville right now. So this is a pretty intense storm system that we have going on at the moment. And I'm just kind of getting my bearings, looking at other places around the U.S. that are also getting storms, because we've seen storms down in the northern side of Louisiana. Storms in eastern Arkansas right now officially moved out of Missouri. However, one area that has seen storms all day long is the Champaign area. Right now, we've got several tornado warnings just north of Champaign, Illinois, and several severe thunderstorm warnings in this area as well. Storms into Indianapolis later today. We've got lots of severe thunderstorm warnings across the U.S. right now, but truly the most impactful warning that we have is going to be this Nashville storm that is still warned for baseball-size hail. We have some new local storm reports here. So we've got golf balls reported in Spring Hill right now. That was at 4:37, so less than 20 minutes ago. And quarter-size hail report also reported in Spring Hill. But it does look like some of the strongest points of the storm were back in the Leapers Fork area in Fairview. So if you rewind this radar view just a little bit here, you're going to go back into the Fairview area, and that's where the storm was the strongest. We have not seen any larger hail reports here, but it is warned for baseball-size hail. Check out that hail core that we see popping up on our reflectivity in between Boston and Franklin. Oh yeah, very impressive there. Your hail report in Franklin, golf ball size hail. Continue to track to the east. Thompson Station, golf ball size hail. A quarter-inch report, or excuse me, a quarter-size hailstone, 1 inch in diameter, out of the Spring Hill area. And again, that was at 4:36, so about 10 minutes ago. just a ton of hail reports right here. This is on the southern side of Nashville, but we have more storms coming in to the western side of Nashville, coming in from the west. We have a few tornado warnings in Tennessee right now. Now we're going to see a few just ongoing little spin-ups in this long line of storms right here. So you're going to see high wind, but you're also going to see a few spin-ups every now and then. What we're watching for in this line of storms, and it looks a little messy, so it may be difficult to see, but we're watching for these little notches that seem to appear right here. These little notches that could spin up a tornado or two. This is very, very common to see a high wind risk and a tornado risk with a long line of storms like this. And that's why we have a significant severe thunderstorm warning with this long line of storms. It's because of that wind risk. If you go farther out to the east into places like central Tennessee and Nashville, here's your large hail risk. And we told you guys earlier during our noon forecast that we were going to see an initial hail risk with these storms today, and if they could stay isolated, they could sustain that large hail risk. However, that wind risk was going to be following shortly behind. We were going to see a 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gust risk as we headed into the evening hours, and that's exactly what's happening here. These more isolated storms that can have a pretty decent inflow, these storms are going to stay with that large hail threat. However, more clustered storms, a line of storms farther back to the west, that is going to be your high wind threat. And every now and then you're going to see that tornado threat as well. So you can't leave your guard down for that potential tornado threat here. Now, the National Weather Service has not reissued another severe thunderstorm warning with this storm quite yet. However, it does look still pretty strong, and the core of this storm is about to track outside of this warning. So I'm very curious to see if they will issue another severe thunderstorm warning as this moves past Franklin, Tennessee. Again, to get your bearings straight here, where are we looking right now? This is in the central side of Tennessee. This is Nasvhille, Tennessee. If you go down to the south, there is your hail core right there. You may be getting some light rain in Nasvhille, but really your big hailer is going to be down closer to the Franklin area. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 5 o'clock this evening, so we've got another 10 minutes on this warning, but the core of the storm, the strongest point of the storm, is about to be out of that warning. So I'm very curious to see if the National Weather Service will extend that warning any further, or if they are going to let it expire. My assumption is that they will extend that warning farther out to the east into places like Murfreesboro and Las Casas, Eagleville, Watertown, most likely in the path for a severe thunderstorm warning here within the next few minutes. Now, I do have my computer right in front of me, so I can move the radar as I need to. And there we go. There is that new severe thunderstorm warning highlighted in yellow, tracking now to the south and east of Nashville. So we're right to the south of Nashville down Highway 840 right now, but we will continue to see the storm track to the east. And it's still warned for a significant severe weather threat. Right now we have this mainly as a hail threat, baseball-sized hail and 60 mile per hour wind speeds. We've got over 200,000 people impacted by this severe thunderstorm warning right now. Cities that are impacted include Almaville, Laverne, Murfreesboro, and Smyrna. And I hope I'm saying that correctly. I hope that I'm getting the pronunciation of those cities correctly here. Now, I do have the chat open on the side of my computer over here, so I can see your chats as they come in. We've got some good questions on storms that happened earlier today. Where in Arkansas did it hail? So I can give you an overview of those hailstorms in Arkansas, but I don't want to move the radar off of this Nashville storm quite yet. So I'm going to keep it up here. I'm going to keep this Nashville storm up here because I want to give you guys updates on the local storm reports. But I can give you an overview of what happened in Arkansas. So Let's go back to Arkansas on my other screen here. The hail out in Arkansas was mainly on the east side of the state, so we're talking about some larger hailstones. We've got a 2-inch size hail report in Stuart, Arkansas. In Stuttgart, Arkansas. The hail report was right over the town name, Stuttgart. That is down to the south and east of Little Rock, maybe about halfway before you get to the state line. That happened earlier this afternoon. And as we go forward here, we've got another golf ball size hail report in Cross, Arkansas. And let's see if we have anything else that popped up in Arkansas today. Mainly, the entire hail risk was out in the eastern side of Arkansas today. We knew that it wouldn't go on the western side of the state. We knew that that was not going to happen. And I think those are your most significant hail reports in Arkansas. So we got a 2-incher out in Stuttgart, and then we got a golf ball size hail report in Cross City. Was that correct? Cross City, Arkansas. Yes, that's correct. So great question. Thank you for putting your questions in here. We are getting some updates on how to pronounce some of these city names, which I very much appreciate here. It's pronounced like Smyrna. Is that the correct pronunciation, Smyrna? Kaden is asking a great question here. What cities are getting the largest hail in Tennessee right now? That is an easy answer. Franklin, Tennessee, and places around Franklin. So let's go back to the radar and really show you the local storm reports that we've gotten so far. From Rickley to Franklin, we have seen some large hail in this area. We've seen golf ball to 2-inch size hail. This first one at Hickman County High School, golf ball size hail, and that was about an hour ago. So you can see that this storm has been producing some large hail for quite some time over quite a large area here. Another local storm report reporting 2-inch size hail near Tennessee 100 and Tennessee 230 north of Centerville, and that was about an hour ago as well. Moving up to the north here, another golf ball size hail report in Prim Springs, and then following the highway down closer to Boston, Tennessee, another golf ball size hail report in the Natchez Trace and Bending Chestnut. So we've gotten some large hail reports. Can we see anything larger than the size of 2 inches here, than the size of a hen egg here? We've got a lot of 2-inch hail reports. And the more that we get into populated areas, the more hail reports that we get. That makes sense, right? The more people that see that, the more reports that we get in. Golf ball size hail in Franklin. $50 size hail in Franklin as well. This, more specifically, was reported along Heatherset Drive and Dallas Downs. We officially have our first tennis ball size hail report in this southern Nasvhille storm. 2.5 inches in size. That's the size of a tennis ball. This was in the Spring Hill area, and that happened about 20 minutes ago. Another tennis ball size hail report here. Thompson Station, the hail sizes get a little bit smaller here. If we go down to Thompson Station, where we've got an inch report and then another ping pong ball size report here. So yeah, very easy answer here. The largest hail, or at least most impacted area by large hail, is anywhere from the Franklin area down to the south and just barely off to the west. And again, this severe thunderstorm has been very, very intense. But my first thought, now looking at the radar, looking at an updated view of the radar, is that it is disorganizing a little bit here. Yeah, maybe a little bit of disorganization as it's going into Smyrna right now. Let's take a look at the updated National Weather Service severe thunderstorm warning. Some information here. Still warned for baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This warning goes until 5:45. But we do have a tornado warning coming in behind this storm. So not only do we have that large hail threat here, but we also have a tornado warning, so that we've got that tornado threat moving into Eagleville right now. So if you think that you got missed from that large hail, now you have a potential tornado coming your way. This tornado warning goes until 5:30 this evening, and it has a $half size hail potential with it as well. So large hail, that tornado threat ongoing right now. And then if you zoom out and you look back to the west, then you have a high wind threat. That'll be moving into the Nashville area over the next few hours. So we've got a little bit on this wind threat here until it moves into the center of Tennessee. However, it's on its way. It's falling shortly behind here. Any other questions before I hop off of here this evening? We have meteorologists staffed 24/7 here at Hail Trace, so they will be tracking this severe threat the entire evening. They'll be mapping these storms. They're mapping storms right now in Nashville. They're mapping storms on the west side of Tennessee and Kentucky. If something has a yellow or red polygon around it, our meteorologists have eyes on it, and they are mapping those storms right now. And they've been doing this for the last few days. So they are working very, very hard back there, tracking those larger hailstones, tracking the smaller ones as well. Again, the largest hailstones right now, especially the most impactful warning that we have going on right now to a large group of people, will be that severe thunderstorm warning in the southern side of Nashville. This warning goes until 5:45 this evening. It is a significant severe thunderstorm warning, so it could potentially be setting off that WEA on your phone, WEA, Wireless Emergency Alert. Sounds like an Amber Alert. Makes your phone go off, and it alerts you of the large hail in the area. All that you need to have that alert go off on your phone is that baseball-sized hail, because the National Weather Service has deemed that a threat to not only property but also potential life as well. So they want you to move inside. Do not stay outside during this warning here, during this storm. Make sure that you are inside, away from all windows if possible. Try to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So treat this very similar to how you would a tornado warning. They want you inside and not outside in this storm at all. And I'm just checking in with our meteorologists here. They're saying that hail sizes in this area could get up to 3 inches in size. So this is a very significant storm. It's warned for baseball-sized hailstones, but potentially even seeing some larger hailstones than that. In a very populated area as well, we have about a 250,000 people in this area. So that goes anywhere from 840 all the way out to the east into Las Casas. And then if you look to the west, you can see that line that this storm has already tracked through. All of these reports, anywhere from Wrigley all the way out to Fairview. We've gotten tons of severe thunderstorm, local storm reports in this area, large hail reports in this area. And I'm reading some of your comments here. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for jumping on this evening. Great question here. Any tornado threats with some of those back storms? I assume that you mean some of those storms back to the west. We can take a look further back to the west if we can take a look at that tornado threat here. So we do have a tornado threat with this storm that's moving into Columbia, or moving out of Columbia here. We have a tornado warning near the Fountain Heights area. This tornado warning not only, of course, potentially, the storm, not only potentially producing a tornado, but also large hail up to the size of a $50. So this is just slightly larger than the size of a quarter. And then if we look farther back to the west, this is going to be mainly a wind threat here. And I know it looks kind of messy. It's hard to pick out that threat here. But we're talking about, here, let me clear this off. We're talking about this line that's anywhere from Jackson, and you can kind of see the line of storms all the way up into the Camden area. This is going to pose a very high wind threat, so these high wind gusts could get up to 70 miles an hour. I think it's still warned, yeah, it's still warned for 70 miles an hour. Every now and then you'll see a potential tornado spin up in here, and just to remember here, spin up tornado does not mean a weak tornado. It means a very quick tornado, so it could spin up, it could hit the ground, and then pop back up into the thunderstorm itself. So very, very quick moving system right now. Moving to the east, we could see up to 70 mile per hour wind gusts associated with this system here. And it's a long line of storms, so it's impacting a lot of people across the state right now. But yes, to answer your question, it does have a tornado threat with it. It's not going to be very often, but it's absolutely possible. And again, this is moving to the east at about 40 miles an hour. What a mess we have going on right here. We've got so many hail reports here. We've got several warnings as well. These storms are messy. They're very messy. Moving into Murfreesboro right now, especially on the north side, you're going to see some heavy rain, potentially some very large hail as well. Moving over 840 right now, some very large hail potential. And then down to the south, if you go down to the south here into Spring Hill and Columbia, you've got another tornado potential there. We've got a brand new local storm report. Let's see what this report is for. In the Mount Pleasant area, quarter-size hail, and they're saying hail at Jackson Street in Mount Pleasant. So that came in just about 20 minutes ago. Getting some reports right now, and we appreciate any of those reports that you bring in. At Antioch, Tennessee, and we have medium to heavy rain right now, but no hail at the moment. Yeah, thank you for that report. And you guys in Antioch, maybe just to the south of these storms. So there may be more hail up to your north. Let's see. Or you may be just north of these storms, and you guys are testing my geography here. Do I know where Antioch is? Is it in, am I close? So yeah, you guys may just be to the north of these storms right here, and the bulk of these storms down to the south. In Almaville and Smyrna. If we look at our correlation coefficient, we can see that what we're watching for large hail will be those blues and greens mixing in here. You want those lighter colors mixing in that will signify some large hail in the upper levels of the severe thunderstorm. And we did get all of these hail reports back on Highway 65. Another reminder here, just think about the time of day that this storm is coming in. It's rush hour. People are hitting the roads. They're headed home. No one wants to deal with waiting for this storm to pass while they are at work. They want to be home for it. So a lot of people on the roads at this time, and then all of a sudden you're on Highway 65 and you've got 2-inch size hail coming down. This was measured in a Maplewood subdivision in Franklin. 2-inch size hail. That is a pretty significant hailstone. Let's take a look at a few more local storm reports here. We've got golf ball size hail near Mack, Hatcher, and Lewisburg Pike near Franklin. We've got another 2-inch hail report here in Sullivan Farms. Some massive hail in this area, just again, right on the highway here. $50 size hail report along Heatherset Drive and Dallas Downs. So a lot of people impacted by this storm. Right now, we still have many people included in this severe thunderstorm warning, still warned. Let's see, let's get some more information on this warning right here. Still warned for baseball-sized hail for about 250,000 people and high wind speeds at about 60 miles an hour here. So large hail, high winds. Yeah, this thing is a monster just going through the southern side of Nashville right now, impacting a lot of people in this area. And I'm checking the comments for your questions. And I appreciate your comments on here. Antioch is north, basically in South Nashville. So yeah, so Antioch would be just to the north of Smyrna here, right up 24, just to the north. So you guys are just outside of the bulk of that storm that is moving to your south right now, moving to the east, down to the south of you. And again, this is moving to the east. Let's see, what is our storm tracker, storm speed on this? Moving to the east at 45 miles an hour. So some wording from the National Weather Service here. And again, this is coming directly from them. They're saying this is a destructive storm for Williamson and Rutherford counties. Baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are the biggest hazard here. Trained weather spotters have spotted golf ball and tennis ball-sized hail. So we have some very reliable ground truth to this in Franklin. And they're asking people to please stay inside, do not go outside. One thing that was happening earlier, and I'm curious if it's happening right now, is that we're seeing these warnings issued by the National Weather Service office down in Fort Worth, Texas. Now it looks like the National Weather Service office in Fort Worth issued this severe thunderstorm warning as well. So from what I've seen is that we have not gotten any information why that is happening, but this happens a lot if a National Weather Service office has to shelter. If they have a tornado warning over them and they have to go in and shelter, then another office that is out of the severe risk for today will take over in their place. So that looks like what is happening right here. However, we have not gotten any confirmation on why that switch up is happening. Yeah, and I'm just checking social media to see if we do have any confirmation on why that's happening. And I don't see anything right now, but I'm sure that they'll alert us later on whenever they are back online. Any other questions here on this evening? We have a lot of people watching on Twitter right now, so we appreciate you guys hopping on and watching us from Twitter. We've got a few people on Facebook and a lot of people on YouTube as well, so you guys can put any questions in the comments section that you have, and we can get to those comments and those questions, those weather questions, as they come in. So let us know what questions that you have right now. We are still tracking this storm out in Nasvhille, so we're talking about the south side of Nashville, anywhere from Franklin to Murfreesboro and Almaville. Las Casas also included in this severe thunderstorm warning, and Watertown and Auburntown is also included in here. What we can do is we can put a storm track on this storm right now, and we can get an idea of the timing. Oops, let's try that one again. We can get an idea of the timing that this storm will come into each of the towns that are out to the east. So again, I told you that this was moving at about 45 miles an hour earlier. 5:21, storms will be into Watertown. 5:26 at Woodbury. 5:31 in Liberty, and 5:40 in South Carthage. What is also very interesting to me is that we haven't seen a local storm report in some time. We got a ton of local storm reports out in Franklin. However, they have started to slow down as they were coming in very, very quickly earlier. And now we are seeing them slow down a little bit. And I'm wondering if we're going away from populated areas or if we are just seeing this storm weaken. Not weak here. 3-inch size hail reported in Franklin. That was at 4:42. So about 30 minutes ago, we saw a massive hailstone larger than the size of larger than the size of a baseball in the Franklin area. And if you look just to the south of Franklin, we have a tornado warning coming in. So this is to the south of this storm right now, but it is moving to the northeast. So not only do we have that hail threat, but we also have that intense tornado threat as well. We've got a few local storm reports out in Columbia right now. This one for $half size hail coming from the emergency management. Another just a little bit bigger than quarters is what they're saying. Reported in Columbia about 20 minutes ago. We've got ping pong ball size hail reported at South James Campbell Boulevard and Brooksmead in Columbia. And we've got one more to report here. Quarter-size hail reported at Maury, the Maury County EOC, so the Emergency Operations Center, where a lot of our emergency managers, they'll sit and they'll monitor the conditions going on, and if there's any places that they need to respond to, they will be all in the same area to coordinate that response. So again, that's at the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. Again, we got tons of local storm reports out of Franklin. However, we have not seen any come in Almasville, Nolensville, or Smyrna right now. This storm is still beating down on Highway 41 and Highway 24 right now. We've got, at minimum, heavy rainfall from this storm, of course, slowing that evening commute, but also potentially producing some very large hailstones in this area as well. Let's take a look at our Tennessee traffic cameras. Alrighty, do we have a camera in this area? We definitely have a slowdown in this area. We have a few cameras here. So let's show you some of these cameras that are coming out of Tennessee right now. Alrighty. So you can see from some of these cameras that we have just curtains of rain that are blowing in the wind right here. So a very impactful storm. It looks like a lot of people have slowed their speed almost to a stop. If you look on the right side of your screen, it looks like people are almost stopped in place over there. Most people have their hazards flashing on and off, which often tells us from this vantage point that there is a pretty powerful storm coming through. And they're not only warning people that they're slowing down, but they're also warning people that they should be slowing down as well. It looks like one side of the highway moving a lot faster than the other side. So let's take a look at a different camera angle here and see what's happening further down the highway. We do have some red areas here, just some completely stalled out areas. Very, very slow moving traffic in this area. Again, this is at I-24 and Almaville Road, mile marker 70. So we are looking right in here where some of the heaviest rain is coming down right now. Let's keep going down the highway here. If we look at maybe the Whitehaven area, looks to have some really heavy rain coming down right now. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, and one thing that we're seeing right here that has been a conversation on social media pretty often here lately is that we're seeing a lot of people stop under the overpass. So they're stopping under that bridge, and it makes it very dangerous because the cars behind them, they can't tell that they're stopping, they can't tell that the speed that they're going, and it creates a very, very bad traffic jam. One of the most important reasons why you should not stop under a bridge here is because if you cause that traffic jam and an emergency responder needs to get through, they cannot get through because of a traffic jam that takes a while to unpack, right? Even after that storm is over, it takes a while for all of those cars to move again. So you, of course, do not want to be something that slows an emergency responder down, and you don't want to be someone who causes a harmful situation to others. Holy moly, look at this. Let me bring this up a little bit bigger here. Look at that rain that is blowing off of the highway there. This is a very powerful storm that's coming through right now. Not only just dumping rain on people that are trying to get through the highway, but also with some very heavy winds all at the same time. A lot of people stopping under the overpass here. Let's keep going down the highway. People moving a little bit better on Highway 41 and 840. And even a little bit better down on Highway 96 and I-24. And we may have lost our camera right here. So we've got a we've got a pocket of some very heavy rain right now that's happening right around Mount Olive and places to the north. So this is 840 and Highway 41, and then we've got another pocket of heavy rain happening right along Highway 65 in places to the east, right in the area or bookended between Almaville right here. Again, this is an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 5:45 this evening. Still warned for baseball-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. About 200,000 or over 200,000 people included in this warning right now. So this is a very, very impactful situation for those out in Tennessee. We're talking about the central side of Tennessee, the central portion of the state, Nashville, and places to the south. So let's zoom back down in here to some of our heaviest hit places here, and what we can see is, oh wow, I mean, visibility is getting very low in this area. We can barely see those cars off in the distance. However, we can see that they're flashing their hazards back and forth, and they're slowing down pretty significantly. They're moving very slow here, which is probably a good thing. Whenever you are in a very hazardous situation, to slow your speed is a very good thing. But you can see the rain just blowing across the street there, creating some low visibility for some of these cars on the roadways. Just a reminder about what time it is. It's 5:21 right now, which means a lot of people are headed home. They're headed home from work. They're maybe headed out to dinner. A lot of people are hitting the roads. So this caught a lot of people on the roads here. A very, very powerful storm to catch people as they're headed home from their work day. And it looks like this camera may be stalling on us, so let's go to the next traffic camera. Just making our way down the highway here. Ooh, we've got some people going at a very fast speed, but it looks like this highway is a lot clearer than some of the other highways were. And people are moving a little bit faster here, so it means that the storm probably isn't as intense in this area, in the Whitehaven area. Looking a little bit better down in Manson Park as well. So we'll continue to just kind of make our way up the highway here and continue to watch for some of the heaviest hit areas. Now, Franklin was an area that was hit with a ton of hail earlier. It looks like we still have a massive traffic jam here. Now you can see some of the road spray that is coming behind these cars on the left side of the screen. That means that we're seeing some ponding on the roadway as well. So it's still raining in this area, but we've got a lot of water piling up on the highways here, and a big traffic pile up as well. I mean, a lot of people in that traffic jam currently. It's basically to a standstill, which could happen this time of the day, but then you factor in a severe thunderstorm on top of that. You've got a massive traffic delay here. There's another view from your SmartWay cameras right now. People are definitely taking it slow on the roadways, but traffic is moving in this area off of I-65 and Highway 96. Again, Franklin was one of our most hardest hit areas with large hail just a few minutes ago, so I'm hoping that these drivers are okay, or maybe they're trying to pick up speed and make up for lost time while they were stuck during that storm. We still have a lot of slow movers out near Veterans Parkway. So let's go back to the radar. We will keep this up on the corner of the screen so that you guys can still see some of the traffic cameras out there and see how fast people are moving, because I think it gives a really good idea of what's going on with the storm right now. But I don't want to miss out on this severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning as well. So not only are we dealing with that severe thunderstorm warning just to the south of Nashville, but we also down in Chapel Hill have a tornado warning right now. Pretty decent tornado signature at this time. So let's get some information on the tornado warning, and then we'll look at storm relative velocity, and we'll see exactly where we're seeing that rotation at. So we've got a tornado warning until 6 o'clock this evening, $half size hail, and about 17,000 people impacted in the Chapel Hill and Christina, Plainview, and Unionville area. Switching over to storm relative velocity, I don't think that I had to show this too much. Oops, hang on. Because you can basically pinpoint where that inflow is and where that hook is going. But let's turn it on and show you that rotation right now just to the south of Chapel Hill, or in the southern side of Chapel Hill, north of Highway 99, right along 31A here. Zooming down into this area, we absolutely have some rotation right here. This is a very dangerous situation, and the National Weather Service is saying from this tornado warning, they're saying that, let's see what they're saying, that they have radar indicated rotation. So they're seeing what we're seeing from radar, that we have a lot of rotation here and potentially a tornado signature on reflectivity. They're also saying flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. And again, that is wording coming from the National Weather Service right now. And again, if you've been watching for quite some time, you know that we talked about that these warnings are issued by the National Weather Service out of Fort Worth, not the National Weather Service in Nashville. But where are we? We're just to the south of Nashville. So something has happened that the National Weather Service of Fort Worth has taken over those warnings for Nashville. So they're helping out here. We've got some comments on YouTube right now. One person saying, I'm in Murfreesboro. So let's go into that area. Because that's an area that is getting some really heavy rain right now. However, we haven't gotten any new local storm reports in quite some time. However, this storm looks gnarly. It looks a little messy, but it also looks very intense. And we saw from some of those traffic cameras that people on the roadways, they're feeling that intensity. That area that you see right here, this is what we call a storm track, and what that's telling us is that we have an area that we could see some large hail. This showing us, this is algorithm hail data, so we could see some large hail up to the size of a quarter. Not as large as what we saw earlier. Earlier we were seeing up to 3-inch size hailstones, just a massive hailstone. And again, to zoom out and give you an idea of what's going on, this is just to the south and east of Nashville right now. So we're talking about between Smyrna and Murfreesboro. If you look farther back to the west, you can see that we've got more storms coming into Nashville right now. We've got a line of storms that earlier had a very strong, intense wind threat with these storms. However, now it looks like they are just warned for your typical severe thunderstorm warning. What we're talking about here is hail potential, but also a wind potential here. And let me get more information on the severe thunderstorm warning. So this is what we call a garden variety severe thunderstorm warning, 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We've got another warning here, 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for Henderson, Lexington, and Pinson. About 47,000 people impacted by this warning here. But yes, for those who said that you were watching from Murfreesboro right now, I hope I'm saying that somewhat correctly. You guys are probably, especially on the north side of the city, getting some of that larger hail, heavy rain, strikes of lightning, rumbles of thunder, and then farther down to the south, you've got a tornado warning just to the south of the city here. And since we aren't getting any local storm reports coming in right now, if we don't have any additional questions, I'm going to hop off of here and I'm going to look for other pictures and videos of hail on social media. So we, of course, will be tracking this for you. We'll be keeping this updated for you on all social media platforms. Even if we're not live, we are mapping it and watching it here at Hail Trace. So we'll have those hail maps, those tornado maps, and those wind maps updated for you as we continue to see storms throughout the evening. In the meantime, hit that follow button and we'll post more for more details in the coming hours. Thanks for watching us today. We have a noon forecast tomorrow at noon on all Hail Trace platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So watch us for your noon forecast tomorrow. All right, thanks for joining us today. We will be updating you on all social media platforms.